Hi guys, the Liberal Conservative here, back again with another video. And today I want to talk about something that's honestly been bothering me the more I look into it. Why does it feel like Erika Kirk keeps changing her story? Or at the very least, being inconsistent with the very people who seem genuinely committed to finding out who unalived her husband? Why? Now, let me be very clear from the start. This video is not an accusation. It's not a conviction. And it's definitely not a verdict. It's a question, a serious one. Because when someone says they want justice, transparency matters. And consistency matters even more. What stands out to critics isn't just what Erika has said over time. It's how often her version of events seems to shift depending on who she's talking to and when. Details that were once firm suddenly become vague. Statements that were once confident later get walked back. And timelines don't always line up the way you'd expect if everything were straightforward. And this part matters. The persons or people asking these questions aren't some random internet trolls. No, these are people with some form of credibility, community, and platform, including people like Candace Owens, Barry Coleman, Coach Colin, Ian, and so many more who have publicly said their goal is to uncover the truth, not push a narrative. So that raises an uncomfortable question. If someone is truly desperate for answers, if someone genuinely wants accountability, why not be completely consistent? Why not be painfully honest even when it's uncomfortable? Because lies don't always look like lies. Sometimes they look like omissions. Sometimes they look like I don't remember at very convenient moments. Sometimes they look like correcting yourself again and again. That's what people are reacting to. Not cruelty, not conspiracy, suspicion. That is the bottom line. Suspicion. Now, one of the biggest red flags critics keep pointing to is this: the lack of a clear alibi for Erika Kirk for September 8th and 9th. According to Candace Owens, during both private conversations with Erika and later publicly, Erika was unable or unwilling to clearly explain where she was during the window of time. Now, does that prove anything on its own? No. But when you are talking about the days immediately surrounding an unaliving, people are going to ask why that information isn't readily available, especially when you're speaking to someone you supposedly trust and who is trying to help uncover the truth. Another claim Candace Owens has made publicly involves a text message Charlie Kirk sent to close friends the day before he was unalived. A message where he allegedly said he believed he was going to be unalived. Candace says Erika initially claimed she never saw that message. And honestly, it's not just Candace. I myself have seen that segment on the Charlie Kirk show where Erika said she never saw that message and Charlie never sent out messages like that to people, right? But according to Candace, and later confirmed by multiple friends of Charlie's, that text absolutely existed and still exists and was received by several people in his close circle. That is not a small detail. So the question becomes, was that an honest oversight or something Erika didn't want to acknowledge at the time? Was she still in denial of Charlie's unaliving, or is she just plain lying? Again, I'm not answering that, but it's a fair question to ask. Another questionable action Erika Kirk made was that when she was called supposedly by the amazing Mikey McCoy and informed that Charlie had been pew-pewed, she apparently flew with a private jet to where Charlie was. And guess what? Guess what, people? Instead of rushing to the hospital to be by the side of her loved one, she waited over an hour for Andy Colbert to get where she was, for them to both go to the hospital. And when they got to the hospital, Erika Kirk used the back and Andy Colbert used the front. I'm just asking questions. Why? Why? Would you wait if you got a call, if you received a call that a loved one, there was an emergency and your loved one was pew-pewed? Would you wait for someone before you made your way to the hospital? Would you wait over an hour before you went to the hospital? I mean, I can confidently say that I treated my dog's unaliving with more urgency than Erika Kirk did in this situation of moving to the hospital when she got this call that her husband had been pew-pewed. She waited over an hour for Andy Colbert so they could both go to the hospital. What? What? Okay, I'm just asking questions. I mean, except he was really dead on arrival, then maybe I would understand why she waited 1 hour, because it's not like she could change anything. But we don't know about his condition when he got to the hospital, because there are two different stories. So who knows? Who knows? Then there's the private meeting Candace Owens has spoken about, where she claims Erika told what she described as several small lies. Looking back now, one of the most notable examples involves Andy Colbert's TPUSA's PR. According to Candace, Erika told her that Andy had tweeted private details about Charlie's autopsy without her consent, framing it as like Andy betraying them, as a betrayal from Andy. But later, Candace says it was confirmed by Andy himself, that it was Erika that was actually directing him on what to say publicly. Remember when Andy Colbert came out on Twitter to say that he just spoke to the surgeon that operated on Charlie, and that the surgeon was saying the bullets never exited Charlie's neck, and these many things, right? Not knowing was Erika that directed him to say all that. And when we all saw the tweet, we all found it strange, because why would a doctor breach such confidentiality? Why would a doctor talk to a PR to put out that information? We were all wondering, right? And guess what? The weird thing about it is that allegedly on the day Andy Colbert was tweeting these messages, that was the day of Charlie's private burial, allegedly. So I mean, on such an important day, he had the time to put out such a tweet. But anyway, so it was Erika that was directing him to say all these things. And if that's accurate, that's not a misunderstanding, that's a direct contradiction of what Erika told Candace. Essentially, she was trying to let Andy Colbert take the fall for her lies, or should I just say her untruths or omissions. And this is where critics really start to lose trust, because when someone lies, even about small things, it forces people to ask, why? Why are you lying? Why say you didn't see a message others confirm exists? Why say someone acted without permission when evidence suggests otherwise? Why be vague about critical dates when clarity would help your case? Now, I've seen people say trauma affects memory, and that's true. That's true. Trauma absolutely can impact recall, but trauma alone doesn't explain repeated inconsistencies on key points, especially when those inconsistencies directly affect an investigation into an unaliving. At some point, it stops being about sympathy and starts being about accountability. Let's be real here. And no, asking questions does not mean blaming the victim. It means respecting the truth enough to demand clarity. This is also why it feels strange to me how aggressively some people shut down any questioning of Erika Kirk. Because in true crime, literally every true crime case, the first people investigators look at are the people closest to the victim, right? Spouses, partners, children, immediate family, close associates. That's not cruelty, that's a standard procedure. Treating Erika as completely off limits actually undermines justice more than it protects it. That is why it's so confusing to me. I mean, of course, we don't know what the police are doing behind the scenes, because the police don't really like to give people a look into their investigations and all of that, right? But we've been told that they've caught the alleged pew-pewer of Charlie Kirk. But here are questions that are coming up on Erika Kirk's behavior, her inconsistencies, the omissions, TPUSA and some workers of TPUSA, their very questionable behaviors and actions. And the police is not questioning them. The police gave Charlie's phone back to Erika because she has publicly mentioned that the phones are with her, when she was trying to dispute the fact that Charlie never sent out messages claiming that he was going to be unalived. His phones are with her. For somebody who was publicly unalived that cruelly, shouldn't his phones be in investigation? Shouldn't every message sent, every message received, every threat from any person on social media, any close friend, shouldn't all that be investigated? Why are the police just turning a blind eye to it? I mean, they've caught the person and that's it. When the case against the alleged supposed person they've caught is not even a strong one, right? I mean, it's just weird to me why people don't want us to question Erika Kirk, or people that were close to Charlie, or people that threatened him few days before he was unalived, or donors that decided to start pulling out their money because Charlie decided to invite Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and some others to certain Turning Point USA events, or because Charlie was turning away from the Israel First sort of mindset. I really don't get this. The first people investigators look at are the people closest to the victim. Now, let's talk about what happened after Candace Owens and an informant named Mitch publicly speculated that Erika may have been seen at Fort Huachuca, a US military installation in Arizona, the day before or 2 days before Charlie Kirk was unalived. To be clear, this is speculation, not proof. But people noticed the timing of Erika's response to this. Or should I say her lack of response to this? Almost immediately after this theory began circulating, Erika went on what's been described as a quiet media tour. I would actually say it was a loud media tour because she was in our faces, right? And then she started reaching out to Candace and other critics, asking them to stop. She did not refute the claim with evidence. No. She did not provide an alibi. No. She didn't provide clarity with documentation. No. She just said, stop. What? Your husband has been unalived. There are people that loved him, cared about him, that are trying to look into his unaliving, and you're telling them to stop because information has come out about you which is questionable? Girl. And what really raised eyebrows was how quickly Erika then agreed to a private meeting with Candace Owens after that Fort Huachuca speculation gained traction. Even I noticed it. And to critics, that didn't feel like coincidence. It felt like she was trying to do some damage control, you know? Again, as I've said before, none of this proves anything. But the sequence of events is what people are reacting to. Critics have also pointed to some very odd internal moves at TPUSA after Charlie Kirk's unaliving. Multiple commentators, including Candace Owens, have claimed TPUSA began firing or sidelining people suspected of leaking information to Candace and other independent commentators. At the same time, Erika Kirk accepted the role of CEO of TPUSA almost immediately after Charlie's unaliving. Not after a long mourning period, no. Not after a transition phase, no. Immediately. Almost like she knew or she was preparing for something like that. And I get it. In big organizations, I'm sure there's a hierarchy of if something happens to this person takes over. But to me, it's still weird that somebody who was a full-time housewife just immediately jumped into this role. They didn't find a qualified person, in quotes, for that role, but just gave it to his wife. And Erika herself has mentioned several times that her husband loved the word earn. Let's be real. I mean, I don't know what happens behind the scenes at TPUSA. She could have been Charlie's advisor, who knows? But we've not seen her, in any active role in terms of TPUSA. Yes, we've seen her speaking at some of their former events. But to you, did Erika Kirk earn her title as CEO of TPUSA? Do we now just give titles just because somebody's somebody's spouse? According to multiple former TPUSA employees, Erika was frequently in the office right after Charlie was unalived, actively holding meetings, smiling, focused, business-oriented. Some of these claims are backed by leaked video and audio clips Candace Owens has shared on her live streams recently, which she says come from internal meetings during that period of when Charlie was just unalived. One just not even 2 weeks after he was unalived. And Erika is seen laughing and smiling. And while everyone grieves differently, critics say what stood out wasn't just her presence. It was the intensity and timing of her involvement. Even more interesting, some former employees claim that weeks before Charlie Kirk was unalived, Erika had already begun involving herself more deeply in management decisions. They claim there was more office presence, more authority, decisions Charlie allegedly wasn't fully aware of, Erika was actually even making. And to critics like me, it doesn't look like a sudden transition. It looks like she was preparing. It looked like preparation. There are also lesser discussed questions involving Erika's mother and her alleged ties to organizations I can describe as questionable or opaque, Now, family associations alone prove nothing, but historically, influence and power often flow through indirect networks like family, institutions, affiliations, which leads to one of the more controversial theories critics have raised. Some commentators have speculated whether Erika could have been intentionally placed or planted in Charlie Kirk's life, acting as a handler, knowingly or unknowingly. Let me stress this. This is speculation, not an accusation, but people entertain the theory because of a convergence of factors. There's been old footages of Erika Kirk being seen at places where Charlie Kirk was without his knowing. Also, her rapid rise inside TPUSA, her expanding authority before Charlie's unaliving, her immediate assumption of leadership afterward, the inconsistencies critics point out, and the resistance to scrutiny, telling us to stop. I mean, that just shocks me. Anyway, across multiple live streams, podcasts, and public statements, Candace Owens has consistently claimed there are unanswered questions and inconsistencies in the official narrative surrounding Charlie Kirk's unaliving. Those questions involve both TPUSA leadership and Erika Kirk's actions directly. She has claimed Charlie feared for his life days before his death, questioned how quickly TPUSA settled on an official narrative that he was pew-pewed by Tyler, raised concerns about transparency, cited contradictions between public and private statements Erika has made and some other TPUSA workers have made. Candace has shared leaked internal videos and audios and highlighted claims from an informant placing Erika at Fort Huachuca the day before the murder. I've told you all this. Candace has also criticized attempts to shut down questioning, arguing that Erika's media appearances and leadership role invite scrutiny rather than silence. You know, they've even sent Candace a cease and desist. I mean, the only great explanation we could give to this would be that maybe Charlie Kirk is still alive and Erika is helping him cover it up. Because who understands all these questionable moves she's making, or she has made, or she made once Charlie passed away? I really don't get it. That's the only conclusion I can come to. Maybe she's hiding something, but it is a good thing that Charlie was actually alive. She's covering up for him. Who knows? Then maybe an innocent man is going to prison for no reason. Who knows? I don't want to sound ignorant, but I just can't fathom why someone will act so questionably and expect to not get any scrutiny. I will leave it there. I genuinely want to know, what do you think respectfully? Do these patterns raise reasonable concerns, or do you think critics are reading too much into them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but please keep it civil. This is a real case involving real people. And if you found this video informative or thought-provoking, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And share it. It really helps more people find these conversations. I'll see you in the next video.